How are you going to feel if someone walks into your room and just like touches you all over? Not great, right? Is diving difficult? So what he told me was, I'm going to tell you something that is going to eliminate your anxiety. Hey guys, this is Preethi. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and the last video you must have seen over here was me getting my scuba diving certification in Pondicherry. So fun story, I had actually gone to Pondicherry to do my open water certification, and that was like a 3-4 day course. And I was actually so nervous about whether or not I would be able to do it, whether or not it was going to be right for me, whether or not I'd be able to do the swim test, the float test. Like there were like 1,000 questions in my head. Plus, I knew that there would be like a bunch of skills that I was worried about, you know, like when your mask floods and you're supposed to clear it. And if you've seen the video, then you know exactly what I'm talking about and why something like that made me anxious. I think I didn't speak about it, but I ended up completing it, which I think is one of the best things that could have happened for me, because it really kick-started a whole slew of diving adventures for me, and I can't wait to show you all of it. And I have gone diving after Pondicherry as well, and yeah, but before I get into the rest of the diving that I've been doing, I did get a lot of questions on my Instagram as well about about diving in general, about doing your open water certification, about whether or not someone who can swim or can't swim can dive, and there were like a whole bunch of things that came up, and I thought I'd just make a video over here answering all of these questions. And yeah, in case you ever want to do your diving certification or you want to go on a scuba dive, then this can be a ready reference for you to kind of jump into the world of diving. Please subscribe to my channel so that I can keep bringing you more content, more travel vlogs from wherever I travel, and I can promise you there are some interesting things coming up. And yeah, if you have any further questions even after this video, feel free to leave them and I will try to get back to you in the best way possible. Let's begin. Can I dive if I cannot swim? Short answer, absolutely you can. So there is something called a Discover Scuba Dive that you can go on. It is a 2-day session in a lot of places, in some places even one. Basically, your dive instructor gives you a few training skills in confined water to kind of get you used to the things that you would need to know when you're diving. A Discover Scuba Dive means you're constantly accompanied by an instructor or a dive professional, and they will be with you through the whole length of the dive. You can dive down to 12 meters and you don't need to know swimming for this. It's a one-time dive. It doesn't certify you to dive anywhere in the world, but if you want to get a taste of what diving could be like, to just go underwater, experience marine life and just get a taste of it to see if it is for you, then you can absolutely do a Discover Scuba Dive and you don't need to know swimming for this. If you do want to get certified though, then you do need to know swimming. For the open water course, there is a swim test where you have to swim for 200 meters unaided or 300 meters with a mask, fins and a snorkel. Where can I dive in India? So even when I wanted to do my first dive, I kind of wanted to do it outside. But India, mainland India and the islands of India do have 5-star PADI dive schools and SSI dive schools where you can get certified. I got certified at Temple Adventures in Pondicherry, which is mainland India's largest and first dive center. It literally catered to whatever my needs were, in the sense that if I come and tell you that I'm an anxious person, then that is factored into the training as well. So it was really quite tailored to my needs and I felt like I was well taken care of. Plus, you know, a lot of people, and I don't blame people for thinking that, you know, you really want to do it in the best of conditions. Honestly, the conditions in Pondicherry were a little choppy. There was a current, visibility wasn't what you would anticipate or what I had seen in Bali. And you obviously can't compare it to a Maldives or an Andamans. But training in those conditions actually equips you to be a more confident diver and gives you the skills to be that confident wherever you go. And I think training at Temple Adventures, like getting my open water certification at Temple, really helped me out. I would definitely recommend it. So much so that I actually stayed back there and I did my advanced certification as well. And I ended up doing my enriched air nitrox specialty as well as my deep diving specialty in Pondicherry itself. Another place where you can get certified, which is a very popular option in India, is the Andamans. Oh my god, it is glass level visibility. The waters there are beautiful. There are stunning dive sites and a lot of established dive schools that have been there for years. So you don't really need to go international to do your certification when the Andamans are right here. The Andaman Islands, either Havelock or Neil, both are beautiful destinations. In fact, for your open water, I would actually recommend going to Neil Island because there are brilliant shallow sites, which is where you would be learning, right? Havelock has some of the best deep diving sites that I have ever seen. It was spectacular. And yeah, if you want to do your advanced, I would definitely recommend Havelock. There is diving in Murdeshwar as well. There is diving in Chennai. You can go diving in Thoothukudi. Yeah, there are quite a few options in India. Can't really be discounting any of these. I think we should definitely be exploring our own waters. So yeah, I've given you some good options to start with, I hope. How deep can I dive? So as a recreational diver, the maximum depth that you can go down to is 40 meters. The open water certification will certify you to dive down till 18 meters anywhere in the world, and it's a lifelong certification, so you don't need to renew it. The advanced open water certification will let you dive to 30 meters, again, lifelong. The deep specialty will help you go down to 40 meters, which is the maximum depth that you can go to. If you're not certified and you're not planning to get certified, the deepest you can go is 12 meters on a Discover Scuba Dive. Doesn't it hurt your ears? It's a very valid question because, your ears tend to really react to pressure when you're descending underwater, but there is a skill that you will learn when you're diving, which will be taught you even when you're doing a Discover Scuba Dive, and something that you will learn more about when you're doing your open water as well. It's called equalizing. You basically need to equalize your air spaces in the body to kind of counteract the pressure of the water so your ears don't hurt. And doing it the right way will actually help because you don't end up popping your eardrum or anything of that sort. So this is one of the first things that you do learn when you're diving. So yeah, I totally get the pain in the ear situation. In fact, it's something that even I deal with a lot. I'm a slow equalizer, like when I'm descending. But that's okay because again, a dive is meant for you to be comfortable as well. That's the only way you're gonna have fun. So you will learn about the skill. How much does getting certified cost? Alright, so I'm going to talk specifically about the open water course over here. It will cost you roughly 25 to 28,000 rupees anywhere in India, like if you're planning to get certified. And the cost is fairly standard actually, even if you look at like going international. If getting certified isn't on the top of your list right now, then a basic Discover Scuba Dive can cost about 7,000 rupees roughly. Again, depending on where you dive, it can actually range from like 5 to 8. On an average, it's about 6 to 7,000. Yeah. How long does the course take? So the open water course can take anywhere between 3 and 4 days because it is a combination of theory sessions. There is quite a bit of theory. I think the most theory that you have to consume actually comes when you're doing your open water course, and a lot of dive schools actually send you the theory in advance before you get there, so that you can actually get started on these training videos. There are about 5 of them, quite informational, quite long, and most dive schools get you started on this. So like I said it to you before you get there, and it's a good idea to wrap up as much of it as possible before you get there so that you can spend more time focusing on your confined sessions, your open water sessions, and then maybe getting in some fun dives if you feel like it. Your confined sessions and your open water sessions can go on for about 3-ish days, but again it depends on how fast or slow you're picking up, and it's totally fine because everyone's body is different, everybody reacts differently, so you can consider 3 to 4 days. For people who are short on time and maybe just have like a weekend to spare, say in Pondicherry or something, there are options where some dive schools actually give you the theory in advance and also conduct confined pool sessions in pools in the city that you're at. So like there are confined sessions going on in a Bombay and a Bangalore and a Chennai and a Delhi, and then you can fly down to your destination maybe over the weekend to kind of complete your open water certification in open waters itself. So that's a good way to save time. But honestly, I would recommend doing the entire thing at a dive school. So like just take out 4-5 days, get your certification done, you guys. I get very anxious or claustrophobic. How do you deal with anxiety? So this question actually came up quite a lot when I was talking about my diving experiences on my Instagram also, because I do have anxiety, and this was an issue that even I faced when I was doing my training. In fact, the first thing I did after my first couple of theory sessions, right before going for my first confined pool session, I told my instructor that listen, I have anxiety and I don't know if I'll be able to do this. So what he told me was, I'm going to tell you something that is going to eliminate your anxiety. And he gave me a breathing pattern to follow, whether on land or in water. So like, when you talk about anxiety, breath work is like a huge part of, helping yourself, and it is not that different underwater. You just need to kind of listen to your instructor and follow the breathing pattern. I think that's something that worked personally for me, right? Just focusing on my breathing. And I think, the one golden rule of scuba diving is to never really stop breathing, to never stop breathing. You have to keep breathing when you're in the water. So having a breathing pattern really helped me. Listening to my instructor was the second thing. Like, you have to really trust that your instructor knows what's best for you, because mine has worked with so many students in the past, and like, I'm not the first to come to him with this issue. So knowing that helped, and obviously being very open about what I'm feeling at any given point in time, because you know, being in the water has this way of making all of your subconscious fears come out. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but if you're hiding something, it's gonna come out. Like if you're secretly stressed, it's gonna come out. So for me, it just made a lot of sense to confide in my buddy and in my instructor that I'm feeling a certain way, so that if something happens underwater, if I panic, if I need to stop, then he knows, and he knows how to respond. And that's exactly how my instructor did respond, because when he saw me having trouble with my mask, he was like, no, I need, you know, he knew what to do. He obviously knows what to do, but like, he knew how to respond at that moment. So being completely open about it also really helped. I think these were some things that really helped in general with my anxiety. And like even now when I do have diving anxiety, and it's happened to me a couple of times, I will be speaking more about it in my future videos, because I've had situations where I've had to abort dives because I've gotten anxious. But then at that time it did feel like the right decision, because my mind and body were not letting me go beyond that. So being in tune with myself, knowing where I'm at physically and emotionally, kind of lets me set a base for how things are going to be, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't. And now as a certified diver, I take proactive measures to counteract anxiety. What I do is I kit up from scratch. Like, I mean, you're anyway supposed to do it, but like I don't take any help. Like I literally do it myself from start, and I check everything. I do all of my checks, I do all of my testing, and you know, just making sure that everything is in place. And I pay so much attention during dive briefings. I'm constantly checking in on myself so that I know how I'm feeling, where my heart rate is, whether I slept well enough. Yeah, I think that is also something that kind of helps me now, right? Like I like getting a good night's sleep before my dives. I like eating properly, you know, like the previous day. Oh my god, hydration is so important. Like even if you're gonna throw up, at least something comes out. Like if you're dehydrated and you're dry heaving, that's the worst. But I mean, I'm talking about seasickness now, because that can also lead to anxiety. So yeah, see, there are a lot of reasons, okay? There are a lot of these triggers and a lot of reasons why one could get anxious. Like it could be because you're in a completely different surrounding and unfamiliarity is something that can be a trigger. It could be because the water's too cold and temperature changes can be a trigger. There could be currents and you're like, oh my god, no, I can't do this. But I feel like you tackle things step by step, or at least that's how I do it. And you go over your own training, and then you kind of know that, you know, I can handle this. I'm good with this. I can do it. I've got this. I wear glasses. Can I dive? I don't wear glasses, so honestly I'm not the best person to answer this, but I have heard this question come up at dive schools where I have dived, and some of these dive shops actually have masks for both ends of the spectrum. You know, if your power is high, then there's a mask for that, and if your power is low, then there's a mask for that as well. So yeah, you should be able to do it, but I would recommend before you actually go to a dive school or when you're doing your research, give them a call and just check if they have these masks available, so that, you know, you can still go with the confidence that there is a provision made for someone like you who needs glasses. Is it difficult? Is diving difficult? I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would think it's actually pretty easy. There are obviously a few techniques that you do need to know before you go diving. You need to have a strong finning technique, so just being able to fin is, I think, an important skill. I mean, if you're getting certified, you know swimming, and you're basically maybe slightly comfortable in the water, and the course will anyway make you a little more comfortable in the water. If you're able to stay calm and you're just listening to your instructor, I think it's pretty simple, man. Like, it's really not rocket science. I think it's one of the easiest sports in the world. What do I need to wear while diving? Ooh, this is a good question. And I know this question has come from a girl because, I mean, I obviously saw who asked the question, and also because I had the same question before I would go. See, when you go diving, especially when you're getting trained or when you're doing a certification or you're going on a DSD, your dive school is going to give you a wetsuit. Now, a lot of these wetsuits are shorty wetsuits in the sense that they have half sleeves and they are shorts. So they come with like clear thighs. So the thing is, when you're diving, you're in the water, you're going to be in the sun a lot, and we all know what tan lines are like. So this is going to be more of a woman's perspective, but you get really sharp tan lines. So here's what I would recommend. Carry your swimwear, even if a bikini or a monokini, whichever you're comfortable in, wear that. Usually what I do is I wear a skin suit on top of that so it covers till my wrists, and then I wear slacks or leggings. Any will do. H&M leggings are totally fine, you know, like the thin cotton ones, or what I usually wear is from Decathlon. They have these UVA protection leggings which basically protects you from UV rays, well, Captain Obvious. But it covers you till your ankles, and then you're wearing your booties, and then you wear your wetsuit. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, when you're in the water, you don't really feel that warm. I usually only wear my wetsuit right before I enter the water so that I don't feel too hot. The rest of it is totally manageable. What should I know when I'm doing the course? Okay, so it's gonna be like 3-4 days and you're gonna need to stay committed to it. So I would really recommend that you stay hydrated throughout. I think this is my #1 recommendation, because we don't realize how less water we drink when we're actually in the water. Salt water is dehydrating. It will dry up your skin, your throat, your hair, every single thing. But an easy way to counteract that is just carry a water bottle and keep hydrating on the way. Don't worry about peeing. You can totally go whenever you feel like it, you guys. Like, don't worry about that at all. But please stay hydrated. Eat well during the day. Don't go hungry. Don't be tired, because all of this reflects in your diet. Like when you're tired, diving is a strenuous activity. You don't realize it, but it's quite strenuous. And trust me, the post-dive hunger and the post-dive exhaustion is next level. It can hit and it can take you down after 4 days. So stay well fed and hydrated. Try to avoid alcohol for the days of your course, because again, alcohol can dehydrate and your body does respond differently when you're training for your dives, and even when you're going to those depths. So you don't want to feel, you know, shitty at the end of it. So just maybe lay off for a few days. There needs to be like a gap. Get good rest on the days of your course when you're diving. I know, I mean, you might be wanting to go for a holiday and it might be like, okay, let's go partying tonight, but then save it for after your course, okay? Of course, listen to your instructor, please. I mean, I blindly listen to my instructor. I had a fantastic instructor and I feel like I'm such a confident diver. Like even now, I actually text back whenever I need help and support, and he tells me what to do and it works for me. So yeah, I think that is something that I would absolutely suggest. And I can't stress on this point enough, but you need to be a responsible diver, right? Like you're entering the ocean maybe once or twice, like for a fraction of your life, but those corals, marine life is going to be there for way longer, or at least needs to be there for way longer, so that after I've gone, there's someone else who needs to see it, right? Like you need to see it after me. If I'm a dick underwater, that's not going to work. So don't touch anything, don't touch the corals, don't kick them, be a responsible diver. That's why you need to be a good finner, so you're not kicking things around. Don't touch the marine life. Oh my god, please don't go and poke a fish. Like you're literally in there poke. How are you going to feel if someone walks into your room and just like touches you all over? Not great, right? Or like takes your stuff and throws it around. Don't be that person. Please be responsible about how you're treating the environment down there. And at this point, I also want to make a statement that might seem a little, I don't know if you might take it well or not, but don't wear sunscreen, man. Like I have still not found good reef safe sunscreen in India that we can use for diving. Which is not gonna harm life down there, so I don't wear sunscreen when I'm diving. And yeah, I tan, but that's okay. The tan's gone already. So skip the sunscreen because those chemicals are not good for life underwater. Yeah, I think that's probably all you need to know. And yeah, have fun. Don't forget to have fun. It's a really cool thing to do. And if you have any further questions, then you can feel free to drop them here, and I'm more than happy to answer them. I have more diving adventures coming up. In fact, my next series of videos is going to focus on diving as well, and I think even the ones after that might have a little bit. I feel like I've become that person who's actually planning destinations around diving now rather than, you know, having diving as a part of a trip. And I think that's also kind of where we need to kind of go, right? Like dive trips are a thing, and that's something that I'm hoping to do more of. Anyway, I feel like I've spoken so much, but in case you do have any more questions, please feel free to drop them here. Hit me up on Instagram otherwise, and we can chat over there if you have any questions about this. I have a lot of content there as well about diving, so in case you want to check it out, feel free to do that. Hit like on this video and please comment if it helped you or not. Share it with someone you think needs it, and get started on planning your diving certifications. Guys, so exciting! Maybe we'll do a dive trip together in the future. Until then, this is Preethi signing off for now. Bye!